edition of Treasures.
As we all know, Egypt is home to one of the oldest cultures in the world.
And it's full of so many unique touristic places that attracts people from all over the world.
That's why in Treasures, every time we take you to a different place with a different story.
So stay tuned as we begin right after this.
The Egyptian Antiquities Museum in Cairo houses the world's most extensive collection of pharaonic antiquities.
The original collection was established in the late 19th century under Auguste Mariette and housed in Boulaq.
The objects were moved in 1891 to the palace of Ismail Pasha in Al-Giza before being transferred in 1902 to the current building at Tahrir Square. Today we'll take you in a tour inside of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
We know that a lot of people have talked about the Egyptian Museum. That's why we are selective and we chose to talk about two partitions that not so many people know about.
Yasmeen had the chance to know more about Yuya and Toya's Hold, who are the father and mother-in-law of Amenhotep III.
So let's watch together. We're pleased to have with us now the Egyptian archaeologist Dr. Tarek Tawfi, who's going to talk to us about a very special and unique place here inside the Egyptian Museum, which is the Hall of Yuya and Tuya, the father and mother-in-law of King Amenhotep III. So we thank you so much for joining us on NILE International.
Pleasure.
Okay. Sir, I think this place is very unique and very special, and it's not visited by so many people. I want you to talk to me in details about this place, starting with the coffins over there.
Well, first we must say that Yuya and Tuya had a very special position because the tomb was discovered in the Valley of the Kings.
Okay.
They are not royal, but because their daughter was married to King Amenhotep III, they got this unique privilege to be buried in the Valley of the Kings. Their tomb, other than royal tombs, was not decorated from the inside. The walls were not decorated, but this was compensated a little by their funerary equipment being very lavishing, very beautiful, gilded, in a way not really common for commoners, but something more of a royal style. So Queen T seems to have had a very strong influence over her husband.
So, yeah.
And we can see here the mask, the golden mask, which reminds us a little of the mask of Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun is later, but the idea of the mask was there before. This mask was directly on the mummy of Tuya, in this case, who was the father-in-law of Amenhotep III. And the mummy with this mask was inside a golden sarcophagus, which is not really golden, but it was wooden and gilded from the outside. Yeah. The eyes were inlaid exactly like with the mask here. The pupils of the eyes were made out of obsidian.
So it's the same like this one?
Yes,
I mean, the face here is the same like this one.
It's the same face, and the ancient Egyptian artisan was very perfectionist. He was able to give us clear similarities between the faces, so you notice immediately that it was made for the same person. The inlaid eyes and the inlaid eyebrows give the whole thing something vivid, because in the second life, after death, the spirit which is shown here, the bar bird, must recognize the deceased. So he recognizes first the sarcophagi, he recognizes the mask, and by this he recognizes the mummy.
Okay.
Not enough by this. This first gilded sarcophagus was inside a second
Another one.
sarcophagus.
The one behind it, right?
The one beside it. And this one is very special because it had a thin layer of silver from the outside. Not gilded, but in this case a thin layer of silver, which is something very special.
And you've told me it's so precious, it was so precious other than gold in our area now, right?
It was at that time more precious than gold, because gold was to be found on Egyptian soil. Whereas silver, they had to import it from nowadays Anatolia.
Okay.
So that's why silver was more precious than gold. So this is something really special.
Yeah, I think so.
And then this second sarcophagus was again inside a third sarcophagus, this time made out of wood, not gilded and not with silver. But the interesting thing is all of them had the shape of a human being. This kind of sarcophagus is called an anthropoid sarcophagus. And these three, one within the other, were then put into a big, vast, huge sarcophagus, which had the shape of a big box.
Gone to another place, which is you've told me you're going to talk about the canopic jars, right?
Exactly.
So what are the canopic jars?
You see, we have here these little containers made out of alabaster. Each tomb would contain 4 of these canopic jars for each deceased, and they had the simple function of containing the intestines which were taken out of the mummy of the deceased during the mummification.
Okay.
And the idea was to take out everything that could rot inside the body. This was taken out.
They want to keep it.
Exactly. It was taken out during the mummification, and then it was put in, if you would like, it was also mummified and also set to rest in the same tomb. So nothing was thrown away. And the interesting thing is that you see inside this canopic jar here a little head. Actually, it is a whole little sarcophagus. So the intestines, in this case the lung, the liver, they were put inside a little sarcophagus and then put inside the jar. So it's like a little burial for itself for each of the intestines of the deceased. And then even at the end you have the lid of the jar giving me the face of the deceased again.
So yeah,
so,
I think it's so interesting.
And then all of these 4 jars were put into a canopic chest like the one we can see over there. So they were again protected inside a chest, and it's most probable that they were moved inside this chest to the tomb.
Talking about this gift, you told me it's a royal gift of from King Amenhotep III, right? The
yes.
carriage.
It's something really special. We think that it was a gift given to the father-in-law of Amenhotep III, and it seems that he even didn't use it much because the wheels they were covered by leather from the outside, and this leather was not much abused. So the carriage or this chariot looks very much like the royal chariots, like the ones found later in the tomb of Tutankhamun. It used to be, it has two horses in front, and it was made out of wood. It was gilded, and what you see in a reddish color, this is leather. And the tomb of Yuya and Tuya is dated about 1350 before Christ. So this is more than 3,000 years old.
And it looks new.
It looks new.
It's really nice.
Of course, it has been restored a little, but still, the original substance is more than 3,000 years old, which is totally amazing. And at this time, the chariot in ancient Egypt is something still rather new, because as we know, as it's known now in Egyptology, that these chariots came to Egypt with the Hyksos just before the New Kingdom. Yuya and Tuya are in the time of the 18th dynasty, which is the first dynasty of the New Kingdom. So this was still something very new, innovative, and it must have been a very special gift from the son-in-law to his father. These are little servant statues. Normally, a tomb in the New Kingdom would contain about 365 of these. Does the number remind you of something?
265?
365.
A year,
exactly. Days of the year. Yeah. So you had one statue of these for each day. And each of these statues has a text written on them which states that when the deceased is asked to perform anything in the second life after death in the netherworld, then one of these statues stands up and says, I'm here at his place to commit or to
perform the daily task.
So he could enjoy the second life after death, and his daily tasks would be performed. And they, of course, one of the main tasks was agricultural work.
I see here the agricultural tools.
So the tools in miniature form. And then even these statues had boxes in which they were put, and these are these nice little boxes that you see in the back. If you look carefully, you will see that the face has the features of Yuya that we have been noticing all the time, and that the work, the craftsmanship, is rather nice.